Okay, and welcome back to Vintage Story. This is Mr. Joseph, and we are picking up right where we left off on the beginning of day 2 here in the forested area next to this ruin that we found. In the first episode we found this village down here, and ultimately, it'd be probably a good idea to try to, I guess, settle down here somewhere maybe, realistically, but in some ways I don't want to do that because I really do like the translocator here, but I don't know. We've got to make a decision because I'm gonna run out of inventory space and I need to start accumulating stuff that's not easy to transport necessarily. And we have no way of repairing this right now anyway. We've used this for what it's useful for. I think what we might do is go ahead and pop that guy off the wall. We'll leave this one there for light. And I'll get some firewood there as well. And then I'm gonna grab this chest, or this basket, put it on my back. I'm also going to grab this up and take this with me. I'm going to leave 8 or 16, I guess, firewood there. And I'm going to leave that bed there. Beds are really easy to create. So this is like a good northern base. So I'm going to actually change what we've done with the symbol here. And we're going to go to, we'll make a little home section. I'm going to make this, I don't know, this color, I guess. Why not? And so now, even though it has the R there, it still indicates that it's a base of sorts. Now this is a ruin over here, there's a ruin here, there's a lot of potential ruins that we could look at, but I think I do want to settle closer down here. So I think what I might do, because the main reason I came to this ruin in particular was to just check out and make sure that the ruins mod, the diverse ruins or whatever it is called, was working properly. But now that we've confirmed that, it's not as necessary to be up here. Okay, hi Mr. Pig. I do want this flax. I do insist on harvesting flax and getting as many flax seeds as humanly possible. I also mentioned last time that there was an andesite granite transition somewhere around here. Now this is that's granite, but this is andesite. So that means that somewhere right about where I'm standing is also part of that same, border. So I guess I'll make another one, just to kind of mark that. Now, andesite is a beautiful building material, and it is kind of convenient, I guess, that we have that option. It's bluish, granite is pretty gray. It's pretty, gray tone, just I don't know how to describe it. It's just gray. Andesite has like, ooh, there's some deer. Is this guy dead? Oh, he's dead. Wow. Okay. I don't know. A wolf must have got him or something. But we can go ahead and take a knife and shift right click on him. These deer are added through the lichen mod. I'm gonna leave the antler and the bone here. We don't need that right now. And you can also delete those from the game by doing that. But oh, more flax. Sometimes flax is hard to spot, it blends in. But yeah, so the deer are a nice little source of food that is not in the vanilla game, that probably should be. It seems like it'd be just bafflingly easy to implement. Okay, so did we see this ruins before? I didn't mark it. Yeah, I think I'm just a little bit, I must have gone around to that at some point. But, so, like, when you find a ruin like this, for example, we don't really have a shovel, do we? I'm gonna get rid of this granite, we don't need it. Shovel is here. Again, we're getting the duplicate tool thing. That might be from that Essential Tools mod. It doesn't seem to be harming the game, so I'm not too worried about it, but, yeah, I'm just kind of curious about it. So go ahead and make a shovel using the shovel head that we just made, and the reason I'm doing that is to show you that you can dig these ruins up and find some goodies sometimes. And I'm hearing wolves, but here, just right off the bat, we found a cracked vessel with seeds in it. So, I don't know, I'm inclined to harvest that, but I'm going to get rid of these ferns. The ferns and stuff are just, there's so many of them that it just gets a little ridiculous, actually, to hang on to them. But those are soybean seeds. Soybeans are kind of hard to come across, actually, I think. So it's kind of nice to have that. There's parsnips. Gosh, I really just don't have the room for it right now. What I need to do is make a few more reed baskets, to be honest. So let me eat this flax grain, and let's start getting a few more cattails, because I need 24 for a basket. I think the main goal of today's episode, though, is going to be to get some clay going. And the main reason I went up north anyway, besides to check out the ruin situation, was to get more cattails. And so we'll get some right here real quick. This is a different location from where I harvested them the first time. I don't know exactly where that was now, but it does not matter. So that's 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, and 21, 2, 3, and one more is going to be 4. Okay, so that's enough for a basket. So it doesn't matter if I make that now or later, but let's see. I guess I need to cross over here. So anyway, I was just saying the goal for today's episode is going to be getting onto clay working, and I'm not sure. Did we find clay yet? That is, why isn't that? That's peat. Okay. So clay you can sometimes see on the world map just by looking for little patches of dark soil. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. Some biomes I think are better at being able to see it than others, but we will inevitably. It's very common. It's a very common resource, so we will inevitably come across some. I don't see any obvious signs of it right off the top of my head, and I'm not sure that forests are the best place for it to generate. I am processing my last episode as I record this one, so hopefully it doesn't cause any performance issues. It shouldn't, but if it does, I guess I'll have to slow down my efficiency on that kind of stuff. There's caves everywhere in this game, and much more so than Minecraft, for example. And so I do like to mark the caves as much as possible, just with a very generic pink dot. There's something very nostalgic to me about pink dot, or not even pink dots, just dots on maps that are not symbols like this game gives you the option of doing. The dots, in my opinion, they remind me of this game, this interactive map for a video game I used to play called, I still play it, called Gothic 3. There's some great online interactive maps with a bunch of interactive dots you would hover over and it would tell you what the thing was. And why are you guys out here? Hopefully you guys are not lost from this settlement. Where's the gate? Here's the front of the settlement. And no, there's still goats in there. Very good, okay. So, if I'm going to settle in this area, I wonder if maybe I should look for a nearby ruin. Is this one? No, that's just stone. Oh, hi. There's a lot of animals in this area. It's kind of nice, I guess. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't settle here. There's not a lot going on, really. Here's another big hole. You do have to be careful with these. Because you can, first of all, you can stumble right into them and fall to your death, but, you know, just as importantly, they are, oh shit, just like that. See? I literally just warned you of doing that, and I just did it. If this happens, you know, hopefully you'll have the good fortune like I did to land high enough that it doesn't kill you. But what you might want to, if there's a tree in the way like this, you might want to try to clear it out a bit. Although that can be dangerous too if you're standing on branches and they dissolve under your feet. Yeah, there's wood there, okay. I'm trying to get this one. Okay, there we go. By getting a few of these, I'm able to, oh, sorry, I made this wrong. Yeah, there we go, okay. So you can make ladders, and it's never a bad idea to have some ladders on you. And we're getting, I gotta explain the temporal gear thing, the turning gear there. There's something in this game called temporal instability, which is basically the concept that certain areas or regions, or whatever you want to call it, are subject to more hostile kinds of activities, and it's, I'm just trying to get all these ladders back. Oh shit, okay. how far deep that goes. Oosh. Okay, probably not the time to experiment with falling to your death at this time. Okay. As long as I got a ladder there, I'll be good. Yeah, so this actually does turn into andesite. So there's granite on top with andesite underneath, and oop, there's... Wow. I rarely had an encounter with this particular enemy this quickly, but there's an enemy down there called a locust that we don't want to mess with, although one of the class benefits of this particular clockmaker class is that you can make these things to tame those guys, but we're not going to mess with that today. So we're just going to go ahead and try to get the hell out of here. We're running low on ladders. We might have enough for another. I keep making these wrong. What's that? And why am I not visualizing ladders? I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah, it's really hard to see what you're doing when these leaves are all in the way, but now at least we'll get some ability to see what we're doing. Here's the other ladder section that I was coming up on. Okay, so we can finally maybe escape this hellish pit. But, you know, there's ladders there now, so if I come back someday, I can easily explore it. So I'm just going to go off in this direction, and we'll see if there's a good place to settle. You gotta be careful with those rams. You don't want to be in their presence for too long, because they will ram you very powerfully, and it's very painful for your character. Now, the village mod... Oh god, oh, okay, that's food. I didn't finish... God, I'm getting so distracted. I need to finish explaining... Oh, shit. Yeah, we're straight up starving to death. Please be berries. Here's some berries. Okay, very good. Alright, that's fine. I don't need those ladders at this point. So we've got some berries. So I'm just gonna go ahead and munch these down right quick, because we are hungry. And then I'm gonna take the bushes. But anyway, so what was I saying? I was trying to explain... Well, I guess let me explain the temporal gear. That's the one I remember. So that little thing in the bottom, the blue wheel, it spins in areas of destabilized places, and it creates enemies, and it can cause these rifts. I mean, it's just, it does bad things, and you don't want to be around. If you stick around too long, it can cause some negative side effects as well. So you definitely want to watch that. These are carrots. I just don't have the inventory space for those. If they were fully grown, I'd think about it, because then I could eat them as well. But boy, that when I turned up the hunger rate, really affected this, didn't it? Okay, this appears to be like, I don't know if it's a swamp or something, but it's open, and I like that. We're probably going to want to use this area to look around for a place to settle. I would like to see a big ruins, though. I would... let's just kind of follow the edge of this forested area. So one bad thing about the turning the soil gravity on is you get a lot of collapses like that. Eventually that will reduce as we get more, as the area gets more, you know, worn in and stuff. Here's more cattails. I could go for another basket, but I don't think that's the priority. I think the priority is getting somewhere safe for the night and beginning to build the things that you would want to build to, like, have a good existence there. There's onions. Do we have... I don't have the space for any seeds. You can eat the meat raw, but I think it makes you sick and actually costs you health. I thought I had seen a fruit tree over here. I think I might have been seeing an optical illusion, but okay. So I'm basically going to follow this forest line, but stay kind of veer towards this open fields as well, so I can be on the edge of the forest, but in an open field, until we find a good ruin. And you don't have to settle in a ruins, you can just settle in the middle of nowhere if you want. But it is helpful, in my opinion, to go ahead and settle a ruin. So that is about it for this axe anyway, so I'm going to get rid of the axe so I can pick up these berries. Okay, and there's some more So we're just kind of scrambling for finger foods right now. And hopefully that once we get settled, I can cook that meat, and that'll be a nice meal. And then we'll start a farm, and we can get some food that way, and we'll get berries going in a processed way that is much more efficient. Okay, white currant again. This is the hard one to spot, so let's get that while we're here. Okay, well, we seem to be making our way into a gravelly area, and I don't want that necessarily either. I'm actually surprised at how few ruins there are so far on this particular map. That might be a fruit tree. So I guess let's just keep exploring. I think maybe I want to go south here. I don't like living in the gravel area. It's useful for resources, but it's not a pretty place to live. Alright, I'm going to get these. Probably a mistake, but let me tell you what. I'm going to get my basket out and consolidate things in a more organized manner. Do some inventory management here. I might also, just FYI, aim to make my episodes a bit longer. Like, I might do 2 days in a row going forward. I just wanted to get that first one done, you know? But, I think that I might try to... Because why not? I mean, if I start getting into repetitive content, I will probably, you know, take some action to mitigate that. But if things are still nice and interesting, I'll keep recording each moment of each day as I go. So there we go. That should be a good consolidation. I'm not sure I'll be able to get all this in my inventory though. But if I eat this, I can, and you can eat these foods raw. Okay, and then my hunger bar is pretty good now. So I'm going to pick that back up. And now I've got more seeds in my inventory, so I don't have to worry about like storing seeds in 2 different places in my inventory. This is a red currant bush. Do I have that? Black, white, cranberry. No, I don't. And I really am reluctant to take that. It's so easy to get bushes later in the game, so I'm just not going to worry about that. We are going into another forested area, it looks like, here, which is not ideal. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking maybe I should go back this way. I don't know, man. Maybe I should just go back up here and just build from scratch. Tell you what, maybe I'll double... Oh, here's a ruin. Let's go ahead and just bite the bullet and go to the gravel section, and then I'll probably just double back. And we'll just make a little base by the town, and then maybe eventually we'll move to a more scenic location. The thing is, in this game, that exploration tends to remain pretty fresh and fun for most of the time, and so and it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but the exploration keeps, you know, stays pretty fresh, and you eventually find some really cool places, but it's rare to find like that perfect location, you know, right out the gate. Where was that ruin that I thought I saw in here? I don't know. But I'm going to try to intersect with this thing as I go up north here, so, because I think it's a fruit tree. And fruit trees are an easy and useful method of getting food as well. Granted, I'll have to make a new axe and make some inventory space for the fruit tree, but it's okay. It's worth it. I am terrified of going through this forest. We don't have a, we haven't set our spawn yet. Unlike Minecraft where you sleep to set your spawn, in this game you have to use a temporal gear, which we'll talk about. But in any event, yeah, this is going to be a fruit tree. You can always tell fruit trees. They're white on the map. And there was talk of nerfing that down at one point, but I guess they didn't. So right about here, somewhere. And there's a deer. Where is it? Okay, well apparently this isn't a fruit tree. This appears to be a pine, just a pine tree with some white flowers in a cross shape that is not a fruit tree. Okay. Gosh, that's the first time I've been fooled by flowers that are imitating a fruit tree in this game. And here's some berries, so let's get that. Get rid of that pine cone, we don't need it. Look at these bushes. I guess, you know, earlier in episode 1, I think I said I was going to limit myself to 5 bushes per base, but I think I'm going to go 10 bushes, just because I upped that hunger factor, and so it makes a little bit of sense to have a broader base of berries. So I could survive on, oh boy, 5. That's a big drop, but I'm going to try to stick to, I think I'll do 10. Okay, there we go. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Oh, shoot. I accidentally fell down farther than I wanted to there. But I was going to say at one point that if I were to get wet with a torch in my offhand, which is one way I could save inventory space right now, is if I put my torches in my offhand. But if I got wet within there, it would extinguish the torches, and I don't want that right now. So I will only put my torches in the offhand once I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get wet for the rest of the episode. Alright, well, we're almost back to the village area. And I think, ooh, buddy, that one hurt. Okay, and that was, yep, my video just finished processing, so interesting timing on that, but, great. I may not be able to, I may be stuck in here, actually. I have an idea of how I could get out. So I can make one set of 3 ladders. That might be enough, actually. Let's just do that and see if it's enough. That. Okay, so 3 ladders. Here, this might be the place to go. So you can alternate ladders every other space, kind of like old school Minecraft used to be able to do. And I do believe that I will be able to get out now. And we got an intact ladder structure there, so that's good. Okay, so let's get the dirt out of our inventory, and that is good. We have gotten out of that pit. I keep meaning to mark these pink. Okay, so let's just settle here. So we're just gonna go due north. And we're gonna find the clearing with the fewest trees up here, and we're just gonna start building. Now, building is very limited at first in this game. There are a series of objects you can build with that allow you to kind of do makeshift things. They're called rough-hewn fences and such. And we will be using those aplenty here in the beginning, but before I get to that point, I think this area right about here makes a good place for a little starter house. We're very close to the village. We're out of the forest technically, although really close to it. We have ocean access, which we could use to maybe for transportation or something. And it's very flat, and we could absolutely get a farm going in here. So I think I will build here. It is getting dark, though, so I probably need to think about getting going as quickly as possible, rather than screwing around with optimizing this space. I think what I'll just do is I'll build a base right about here. So let's start out by getting some storage set up. Okay, so this storage is going to be different than the other one, but I will have 2. And get that one back out here as well. Alright, this one's going to be my seed storage, and pretty much only seeds. And this one is going to be my miscellaneous storage. And boom. Okay, so next thing, let's get fire going. Okay. So again, when you make fire from scratch, you'll simply go up and shift right click. Now we have a rainstorm, rain happening, which is fine. Don't panic. What we're going to do is a little cheap trick. Now one of the reasons that I make soil a gravity block when I play, unlike a lot of other players, is because I think it's stupid that you can just like take dirt and make it into whatever you want. I think that's just utterly ridiculous and obviously OP and stupid, so we're not going to do that. Instead we're going to, let me grab this flint here. We're just going to go ahead and do a little temporary trick. At the very least, you know, if you're going to do something like that, you should have to do some work to form those non-gravity blocks. So we're going to take this dirt, and we're just going to make it into this packed dirt here. And we're going to place this like so. Now we've got like this little mud arch over our fireplace there. Let me get some firewood here from our storage. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can actually take the torch this time rather than the fire starter. And this lights basically automatically at that point. And then one thing we can just do right off the bat here, this is only fresh for another day, but we're going to go ahead and stick this meat in there to cook. And how many, you know, that should maybe be enough firewood, just in case. I'll put that many in. And we'll stack the rest of this here, even though it's raining. Okay, just eating those berries up. Now, I guess the thing from inventory management standpoint would be to go ahead and start thinking about where we're going to put the bushes. I guess over here makes kind of sense, maybe. Okay, there's one set. And that's 9, by the way, so I'm entitled to one more of those, whatever that was, blueberry. 9 black currants, so entitled to one more of those. These always come out taller looking. So I'm entitled to one more of those. And then cranberry, I'm entitled to 8 more. And then white currant, I'm entitled to 4 more. I'm just going to get rid of these stupid ferns that are blocking. Now, there's going to be bazillions and bazillions of ferns and things in the game. So I personally just get rid of them regularly like this. And I know it's hard to see, but I wanted to get those bushes in the ground to clear some inventory space. And the last thing I'm going to do before I make my bed to go to sleep tonight is put this torch thing up on this wall here. Now, we obviously don't have a base yet. This is an insecure location. Thank goodness for the grace period that I turned on when I started this playthrough. But now we need a bed. So we've got 2 grass. We need 24. And I left the other bed in the temporal ruin up above. So go ahead and just get some local grass here until we get 24 in our inventory. We're going to make a bed and sleep. We're going to take that meat out and eat it first, probably. And then tomorrow, so unfortunately we failed at today's goal, which was to get clay. I haven't seen clay, actually, which is highly unusual. Usually clay is very abundant. But I think it has to do with, like, biomes and stuff that I'm not familiar with enough of those details to know what's going on. Okay, so that's ready. Let me just switch out this linen poultice with this cattail poultice. It's much more affordable. It's a cheaper block to use. Oh, and the other thing we could start doing is storing mass amounts of, let's say, dirt in this thing. So that's an aged crate with dirt in it now. And so, you know, every time we mine or, you know, harvest dirt like this, we can just start putting it in that crate, and it will hold like 500 or something, as opposed to those baskets, which would hold, well, I guess 8 stacks times 64 is not that bad. It's quite a few as well, but something about a crate that just seems like it holds a lot more. I mean, it does. And there's going to be a lot of terraforming like this over time. And you can press shift control and right click into the crate to put in a stack at a time. Okay, and it is precipitating still, but I can't tell if that's... No, it's not snow, it's just rain. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and sleep in the open. By the way, the music in this game, it's very atmospheric. It tends to be very cool. Kind of creepy, actually. But it does move on at less creepy times. So once we get past this night, I suspect it will turn into a more cheerful music. Okay, and I'm losing health because I didn't eat before I slept. But these are done, so that's good. So let's get the last couple logs out so we don't waste those. I'll put those there. And we'll go ahead and chew on this beef. Now, this is good food quality, so it will get us more than halfway full. But it's the next morning. It's kind of hard to see, but I could go ahead and put one of my torches in my offhand. I guess I could leave a torch in this basket. That way, if I ever... No, there's one in the thing. It's fine. So if I ever extinguish my torches, I'll be able to relight them pretty easily by just grabbing the torch off the sconce there. Probably could make another axe now. Now that I've... Oh, and you know what else I should do? I should make, yeah, a spear. Or several. Or a javelin, you know. These are basically used to... as a early game weapon. I'm going to make that axe that I mentioned as well. And you just make them the same way. You shift right click your flint down on the ground and you carve out the little yellow ones and you get everything else. But yeah, if you're going to do spears, you probably want to make a few. I mean, we need a hoe too to start farming. We should probably actually do the farming before we do anything else, because just because of the 125 hunger rate, I'm very paranoid about dying of starvation. So, but let's make a couple spears as well, because these are all tools designed to deal with hunger. Spear and hoe. So I usually like to have 4 spears on me. And you can get spears through goodie loot chests at ruins, or you can craft them or buy them. But in general, I think it makes sense to have about 4. Or you can pan for them. They come up in when you pan for... Or sometimes you get little artifacts like spearheads. So, good stuff. Okay, so we've got... Ooh, actually that's... We're not going to have enough sticks for this. There's our axe and our 4 spears, and I'm just going to need 1 more stick for our hoe there. And there's a stick. You can get sticks by breaking plants like this, and the thing is that there's normal leaves and then... Oh shoot, see, that's what happens when you go in the water with your torch, so I'm going to have to relight that. I'll show you how to do that though. There's branchy leaves and regular leaves. These are regular leaves, but it would say birch branchy leaves right there, see? And those give you a much higher rate of sticks. So, and I am obsessed with clearing out stupid tree leaves like that. Okay, so now I've got enough to make that hoe. And so we're going to do a couple things now. I'm going to relight this torch. The rain will put out fire, but it won't... Oh, I think it might actually put out you know, torches that aren't put in a sconce like that. So if you have a torch in a sconce, that's permanent light, but if you have one that's not in a sconce, it will potentially go out in the rain as well. So I'm going to take one of these spears and put it in my hotbar, and then if I end up throwing it, it will, the other ones will come in and replace it automatically. So let's get the onions and rye and carrot and spelt going. I'm going to leave the soybeans and cabbage for now. Those are kind of special crops we have to plan a little bit better for. I'm going to do the basic ones right now. I'm just going to clear out a little 4x8 kind of area here, right next to the water. Just like in Minecraft or Terraformcraft, the water is important to keep your crop fields kind of auto-watered. There's ways to water it without being next to the ocean or to a lake, but you know, those are kind of a pain in the ass sometimes, and it's just easier to do it this way. Get rid of these ferns, like I said. Okay, so we've got a pretty good chunk of land here to farm with. You don't have to wait for the grass to grow back or anything like I think in Terraformcraft you have to do for it to get its full nutrients. I think you just go ahead and hoe it. So we've got a total of 21 for 27 seeds, so let's see if I can get 27. 5, 6. You can hoe under the grass too. That's 10. Yeah, we'll be able to get this no problem. You can just do that. The grass doesn't really affect it too much, I don't think. I lost count of where we're at, but let's just do another row here, and I think we'll be pretty close. So I'm just trying to keep, now we're going to have to deal with animals at some point. In fact, we should probably think about that before I plant this. Although I haven't seen any rabbits over here yet. But the second I plant these, they'll be here, so... Tell you what, let's plant them and then we'll immediately turn our attention to them, to building a retaining fence outside. there's flax. And I actually had 7 more seeds than I thought I did, so I'm probably going to need to hoe a few more fields, which is fine. Do one more layer here. And you know, the nice thing about farming is you can actually just use up your hoe. Now, I will tell you this, if you jump on this farmland in Minecraft, that would make it turn into dirt. So that doesn't happen in this game, so you can just mine or plow right up to the edge. The problem here is that this is starting to get a little away from the water back in here, so I don't want to go further that way, as long as we're close this way. And I definitely want to keep my most of the plants as close to water as possible, so we'll try to fill in these ones that are in this row a little bit closer. Okay, so that's going to do it for that. Now, another thing we could do, I'm going to need some wood anyway, so let's go ahead and harvest one of these maple trees. There's a lot of wood on these trees, so we should get plenty of resources. Are these? Yeah, it's maple. You know, we're running really low on food. That is not good. I'll tell you what, I need to prioritize getting food more than I need to prioritize making those fences right now. So with that, let me just get these in storage, and then we'll go. I guess I could go kill those chickens that are over here. I don't really want to. They're not that nutritious, is the thing. And they're a bit of a pain in the ass to kill sometimes, actually. Oh, but this guy would be good. This deer would be a great meal. So you do want to aim a little bit above your target. And they do bleed out sometimes, too, so if you get some good shots off and they don't die right away, don't worry too much about that. Oh, come on. Grr. Sucks. I've literally got my spear stuck in a tree and I want it, so... Oh, come on, game. How is it stuck there? What is it stuck to, even? I don't even know. Alright, I guess I'll do this the hard way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we're just gonna take the 6 dirt here and make pack soil and use it as a nerd pole. Just get my freaking spear back while I'm starving to death. There we go. Okay, I think I got it. And he's still stuck there, so that's kind of convenient. And you can also use this as a melee weapon. And he is dead, and just in time. I'm starting to take damage from lack of food. So because I killed this one myself rather than came across it as roadkill, I should get a little bit more meat value from it. Yes, I do, and I get leather as well, and bones. I'll explain. The bones are kind of worthless. They're not... worthless is too strong, but they're not good. They're not very useful. So I'm going to grab all this firewood and get this fire going again, and we're going to get this meat cooking immediately, and we've got to somewhat hurry. I hate these frickin' ferns. Just in the way. Okay. Okay, so that's cooking again. We'll get this back in our offhand. We do have the 2-pack dirt still. I guess I could kind of round out this little creation I've made. Start to build a little overhang for my bed there. We'll store the rawhide in here for now. And the bones. But otherwise, you know, and I guess we need another... let's see, we got 4 spears. Our shovel's just about done, but... Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna wait for this meat to finish. But it takes a second when it's starting from completely cooled down. Fortunately, it takes you a while to starve to death, so that's the saving grace. But I get one right there, and that's gonna calm the starvation nerves for a few minutes or seconds or whatever that winds up being. One other thing I'm going to do real quick that I was about to mention a minute ago is that we can make a tool rack. I didn't have the components at the time, but I should now. With all these sticks that I'm getting. Yeah. And you just go like this to make a tool rack. In Terra Firma Craft, you needed to have planks to do this, but in this game, you only need that. So when I come back and I'm not using the spears, I'll just put them back up on that tool rack like that. Okay, so here's another piece of meat. So I guess now that I've got a little bit of food coming in right there, I guess I will go ahead and finish what I was going to do a moment ago, which is chop down this tree. Although it might take a minute if I think I'm going to wait until I'm better, I have more health. Because you chop slower if you're at less than, I think it's half health. It might be a smaller percentage than half, but it's definitely noticeable, and it's always better if you can do physical labor when you've had food first. Just like in real life. Oh, by the way, I noticed that my little blue wheel is spinning to the counterclockwise direction, which is not what you want. That means that you're losing temporal stability. And that is not good, generally speaking, because it means that there's a patch of land around where I've settled here that's temporarily unstable. And we may need to build our house accordingly. I need to like scope that out a bit, actually. They're usually rare, somewhat rare patches that are like that. It also could be related to temporal instability through a seasonal effect of some sort, but I don't believe it's that in this case. Because there are these temporal storms that pop up that, manifest instability regardless of the, geography of where you're settled. There's some cows over here. This is from the medieval mod. They're actually a really good source of food too, and leather, which we'll talk about in a future episode. They are easy to kill, not particularly hostile, and produce, they drop good yields. So, okay, so I've got some material now from that tree that I just harvested. And let's go to, I've got 30 logs now, which is good for firewood and good for what we're about to do with fencing. But we'll go ahead and eat these. And this is day 3, by the way. And you can tell what day it is because it will keep track of the calendar. You start on May 1st by default. So if you push H, if you're in your inventory and you hover over something and push H, it'll bring up the guidebook. Now you can just push H and get the guidebook and type in, fence, and it'll tell you what kind of fence you can build. So we could build granite fences pretty easily here, or we could do something called a rough-hewn fence, which is very easy as well. It's sticks, axe, and two logs of some sort. We can also do a rough-hewn gate by making this more complex pattern. And actually, we should maybe start out with that one, because I always forget the pattern. I think I got it backwards, or inverted, but yeah, so we'll have to invert this. There we go. So there's 2 rough-hewn maple gates, and then the fencing was just like this, I believe. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so that's all I can do at this time in terms of the total number. So we've got 2 gates and 24 fences to work with, unless I want to, go round up with some more sticks, which I easily could, but I don't really. It's not something you want to waste a lot of time doing, generally speaking. Okay, so as you can see, my temporal instability has increased the closer I got to this ocean here for some reason. So it could be related to something underground here. Actually, no, it's going clockwise. That means it's restoring. See how it slows down, and basically it's the 0 right about there, starts ticking a little bit counterclockwise, and then gets more counterclockwise the more up here I go. So that means that I'm safe over here, but if I get over here or further this way, it starts to get unstable. So I'm going to have to watch that. Now I've got the 2 meat there as well. I'm going to go ahead and store those there. I'm going to make some more firewood here, because I don't have the axe on me anymore. You can also craft, well, I was going to say some other things here, but you can craft a club and a bow staff and some other weapons, but the spears are going to, I think the spears are what are going to carry the day for me here. Okay, so let's talk about fencing now. So what you want to do for fencing is if you're on a coast like this, I'd recommend probably fencing off to the ocean. So I'm going to put the 1 gate there, and I guess, actually I'll put both gates here. And then I'm just going to actually float this out kind of like that a bit. And there's that turn. what you want to do is you want to make it really hard for the animals to get into your area here. And so if a rabbit comes along here, he's going to have to go around this water, and that is not going to be good for him. So I'm just trying to get this little thing poked in there, and maybe one more. No, okay. So now rabbits are pretty much blocked off from that side, and then we're going to go and do something similar here. I'm going to get this a little bit closer to the area there. I'm going to have to terraform this a bit so I can walk around it, but actually the raised land here is fine. Let me get a couple more sticks so I can do one more thing of fences there. And I need another axe as well. You do tend to use up your flint tools very quickly, so it's important to start thinking about metal tools as soon as possible. We'll probably start thinking about that in the next couple episodes, but it's just one of those things you want to kind of start to, you know, be aware of. These stupid ferns. Alright. And you get more ferns in the woods as well, I think, so... Alright. I think it's... Is it that? Oh, I need the axe first. Okay, hold on. Now, the game has one really... I wouldn't call it OP recipe, but really easy recipe that I think they should probably nerf it a bit, and that is the stone fence. The stone fence can be made quite simply with, by the way, that's just a decorative vine. It doesn't have any functional purpose, but if you get 6 stones of any, you know, same type of stone, it's flint there, but we're going to have 5, and one more will be 6. More sticks as well, but you know, so if you didn't want to make rough hewn fence, you could do this instead, and this would give you a stone fence, which is just as effective, and it's a little, in my opinion, a little bit more labor intensive to make, but not really that much, honestly. It doesn't require a crafting recipe that requires an axe. It just requires you to get 6 of the same thing, and unfortunately it gives you only one fence, and that's the big drawback, is you have to get a lot of the stone to make that useful. But I'm gonna just put that there for now. So we've got our axe now, so I'd go ahead and make the other thing of rough hewn fence. I cannot remember what the recipe was. There we go. So I'll just do 8. Okay. So now that we've got our farm all fenced in, basically here. Okay, we lost our torch again, that's okay. And I'm gonna have to, like, probably stabilize these edges of the water. Okay, we are getting rift activity now. That's the first rift. I believe that means the grace period is possibly over, or very soon to be over anyway. And just rifts are just one of the mechanics of the game that cause enemies to spawn. And did we lose a crop field there? I'm not sure. But either way, I'm trying to make that flowing water more even, but whatever. Okay, so that is a relatively secure farm. It's not perfectly secure. A rabbit could still go out into the ocean and swim around and get in there, but it's going to be hard, and they're not going to want to, and you can probably kill them by the time they figure it out. So it will at least mitigate, if not completely eliminate, rabbit attacks in my fields. And now we've got this beautiful farm, and I think I'm going to try to swing up here and see if I can find some clay real quick before the sun goes down. It's only 1 o'clock, something in the afternoon. I've got a little bit of food on me. I could use some more for sure. Oh yeah, and I probably want to keep my eyes open for game. You don't want to stand too close to those, and you certainly don't want to be around them at night, because in darkness they do spawn the main enemy of the game, which is called a drifter. Okay, this is a fawn. That probably means the family of deer is around. You can kill the fawn, of course, and they actually are pretty wimpy. And there we go. Spear back, and then you gotta come down here to skin him, I guess. And okay, I get a little bit of leather, but no food. The mom, I think, went out this way somewhere. Is that a goat, or is that a... No, it's deer. And there's a goat. There's cows here. They're probably an easier meal to go after, to be honest. maybe I should just go for this towel. And they will attack you initially, but you can, if you get 4 shots like I just did, they will die. If you get 3 shots, I think, they run away. Possibly 2 even. But they will charge you on the first shot for sure. I'm going to need another knife soon as well. Got like 1 more use for that knife, I think. That's 9 meat though, so that should be enough to get me through the night. I may just have to kill like a cow a day until I get my garden fully functional here, but here's another deer. They do get freaked out, so you gotta... for fuck's sake. Okay, I just had 3 misses there, that's embarrassing. Here's quartz. Not that you need to mark this on the map necessarily, but quartz is a pretty common mineral, but I'm gonna mark it just in case we don't find any more. Seeing as how we're not finding clay as we normally would, maybe I need to be more conservative about keeping track of my minerals. Okay, I've got all 4 spears back. We've got some fog coming in here. One of the things this game does really nicely is it has good weather effects, in my opinion. So it's something that we can enjoy, kind of enjoy. It's a little bit distracting at times too, but whatever. Anyway, a little tunnel here. I'm surprised that was able to generate with the soil gravity. I guess there's rocks holding it up. The rock material will not be subject to the gravity effect. Appears to be a bit of a cave. It's hard to see down there though because of the fog, so I'm not gonna... Okay, this is actually a ruin. Relatively decent sized one. So go ahead and mark the ruin on the map there, and let's see, we've got seeds here, so we'll go and grab those. Carrot seeds, I guess. Oh, we have an extra fence. Put that here just randomly. I didn't even check to see what kind that was. I think it was foraging. So we got some linen fibers, which is great. We'll talk about that probably next episode, linen. Interesting, they have some advanced building blocks here we could take. But mostly I'm just kind of looking for the easy to harvest goodies like the cracked vessels. So that's good, and then let me take a look at this one as well. Here's one. And that's ore. It's less useful, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't really feel like digging it up. Nor do I. There's this bony soil that I want to start accumulating as well. I just don't want to do it before I have clay is the thing. I'm just so reluctant to do much of anything until I get clay. So I think I'm just going to keep looking for clay until it gets late, and then we're going to have to head home, I guess. I also did lose my torch there, as you saw. I mean, it's just the reality of the game is that you're going to lose your torch quite a few times before you get to make a lantern, which is a waterproof light source, for lack of a better term. There's another thing, another tunnel thing. And that we're solidly in the andesite region now, which gives us this beautiful blue andesite stone. I wonder if maybe there's a difference in clay generation in the andesite region versus the granite region. But this is a little tunnel. Maybe I'll mark this on the map. It's kind of cool. Tunnel. Sometimes the map doesn't do a good job of like revealing landmarks. I'm just gonna keep that as that. Because it's just top down, so it doesn't get, and we're back to granite here, it doesn't get a lot of detail above the facing top layer of whatever. I thought this was a fruit tree for a second. I was about to get excited. Fruit trees are pretty rare, so when you find one, it's kind of cool. There's quartz. I guess I'll put more quartz down. There's going to be another ruin here. We could check that out, I guess. Gosh, though, I just don't see any clay. Clay is usually very easy to find, but I think it's just the world gen is this particular biome or whatever doesn't have any, so we may have to go for ways to find it. It's such a necessary early game ingredient, though. It's kind of inconvenient that it's not around. What was I going over here? The ruin, yeah. And I would be looking and marking these caves, but I just trying to be efficient here and get to the looking for clay. Okay, that's cool. We'll get that one. So we got a extra knife and axe there. That's extraordinarily handy. There's the knife. Oh, and then we got one more too, whatever that was. Check that out in a second. Let's get out of this water first. And let's just go over here and we'll loop back around the outside of this pond and continue to look for clay over here. I am going slow. It's another flint shovel. So we've got a free flint shovel and knife and axe there, which is very convenient. And there's still granite here. Alright. One thing you can do for food as well is you can eat these cattail roots. If you harvest them twice, you get the whole root, not just the top part. But you do have to cook those if you do it that way. And they have one free inventory slot. Excuse me, so it's maybe a little dicey to be putting the cranberry bushes in here, but you know, whatever, I'll throw away a tool or something if I need to. Yeah, we'll just throw away one of the, I'll throw away my nearly depleted knife. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, I guess, or I could get these onions. I'll throw, excuse me, I'll throw away my bones. You know, just don't worry about keeping bones early game at all. And even the late game, they're not that good. And then I'll get rid of my hoe, I guess, as well. And we'll just see if there's any more seeds there. Very good. Okay. So we're at a point in the game, you know, where you do want to get seeds accumulated so you can grow. Oh, there's parsnips. Man, I guess I'm gonna do this and get rid of that. Parsnips are not that useful, but I guess since I've got them, I might as well get them planted. They're kind of like a weird, like, less desirable food plant. Let me just eat these. Eat some of these things and make room that way. I think I had room for at least one more black currant bush. So go ahead and eat these. And it is getting late, so I'm going to have to head back immediately after I finish eating these and making my inventory space for those currant berries. But I guess I'll just get the last couple bushes here, and that's probably going to do it for currant, for black currant and cranberry. For now, and then other types of bushes will have to come later, I guess. I'm also not necessarily opposed to exceeding my bush limit initially, just to get through the first, you know, month of survival, and then rein it in down to the limit that we talked about. I think that's maybe what I'll do initially here. Because I hate leaving these bushes behind, you know? What's this? I don't know what that is. There's a trader here. I don't know what type of trader it is, though, so I'm not going to mark... Well, I guess I can mark it, but... unvisited trader, I'm going to make brown. And once I visit him, I'll turn him yellow. But that's hard to even notice, isn't it? Make it white. Okay. So what do I need to do? I need to come back... Well, I basically need to go due west. Okay. Yeah, no clay today. That is shocking, and... Oh shit, there's a wolf. Oh god, that scared the fuck out of me. Oh boy. And you need to run when this happens. You absolutely just run, and run, and run, and don't look back. Just keep running for a while. There goes my other torch. And the water can be a little... Okay. Good. We survived that attack, but... Boy, that was scary. That really scared the hell out of me. I'm gonna go ahead and eat these berries while I'm up here. I know it's getting hard to see without my torch lit, so I'm gonna have to make my way back as it gets dark. And this is why forests are kind of dangerous, especially if you can't see what you're doing, like I can't right now. But there's a ruin right up here, and I do want to peek at. Oh, I thought it was a ruin. I guess it's the map can be very deceptive. Let me just say that. Sometimes something that looks like a ruin is just a natural group of flowers or whatever. Alright, well, Another day, another no clay. So I guess on the next episode, we're just gonna have to take a expedition. Oh, there's a wolf. That's a wolf, and he didn't see me. So I'm gonna go around the long way here and let him go about his or her business. And if you stick to fields more than forests, you get fewer wolf attacks. So I am also starting to look for copper on the ground. I am actually shocked that I haven't found copper yet. That's a really cool shape to that little mountain there. I am shocked I haven't found copper yet. Usually it's a lot easier to find. Maybe I just got a bad seed, I don't know. But here we are, we're back home. Let's check and see if there's any rabbits down here yet. Nope, not seeing any. Let's go ahead and plant a few of the seeds that we found. One thing I could have done better on today's journey is I could have taken storage vessels and hauled more stuff home. Okay. And we're going to have to leave it at that for now. So I'm going to put the rest of these seeds in here. Actually, I'll use this one. And we'll expand our farm at some other time, but let me see if I can get these bushes taken care of. I'll get the torch relit first. You do want to break this if it's out here in the rain like that. You want to break it right away so it doesn't extinguish. But now I've got a torch in the offhand. It's not wet. So we'll go ahead and count these up. So this is blueberry. This is black currant. So I've got 4 black currants on me. And how many do we have here? 1, 2, 3. Sorry to count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've actually got exactly 10. So I guess I can't do that. Cranberry, we can put 8 down. There we go. There's our max for cranberry. So I guess we'll put the rest of these in storage until we decide whether to violate our own rules. Let's get some meat cooking overnight at the very least. And so the way to go here is to get the logs there and make it into firewood. I'm going to make half of those into firewood. That'll give me firewood stacks in your inventory up to 32, so this is considered a full stack. Okay, there's all that. And we'll put this down here and get that lit. And then that will be ready for morning and we'll be in good shape. And so I think what we'll probably need to do in order to make the best of our run to get clay, keep these spears on me. Did I lose a spear out in the field? I think I lost a spear out in the field. No, it's right there. It's in my inventory. Okay, so the best way to do that run for materials tomorrow is going to be to take a basket with me, and unfortunately I've only got 1 extra slot in those baskets, so I'm gonna have to make a new basket. Maybe I'll do that off camera overnight, and then I'll be ready to go tomorrow. I'm just gonna take a peek and look if there's any signs of clay. I mean, you almost think some of these little patches of lighter material would be clay. There's a andesite transition boundary as well. I think it's andesite. But boy, this is a very strange spawn, truth be told. I don't know what direction to go. Maybe west is the way to go tomorrow. Anyway, at least we got the farm in, and at least we got some resources, some tools. Let's put these hides away. We haven't gotten animal fat yet, unfortunately, so that's something to continue to be concerned about. We'll talk about that in the future episode, but I think for now I'm going to go ahead and end the episode. It's been about an hour. Thank you so much for watching. It's been my pleasure. This is Mr. Joseph. We'll see you next time on Let's Play Vintage Story.